and welcome to this walkthrough of the UNE Brightspace environment. We're starting out within the Okta sign-in. This is the way that we get to all university apps, including Brightspace. So I'm just going to click Sign In, and then click on the D2L Brightspace button in the Apps panel. This takes us to the Brightspace institutional homepage. There are many things that we have here, but the most important thing to look at is just navigation in general. So looking at the layout, we have at the top something we can call the notification bar. It's primarily used to give us notifications. That's messages, alerts. We can search here, profile information, but it also is the way to get back to this homepage from anywhere within any of the courses by clicking on this University of New England logo up in the top left corner. Underneath that, we have our navigation bar. This one is a little bit smaller than what you'll see within the courses themselves, but it does give us important information for us as an institution at large. And then we have our widgets. The first one up here on the right is My Org Units. This is actually our organizational unit, and for me and most of you, it's probably the College of Graduate and Professional Studies only. This, if I clicked it, would take us to the CGPS Brightspace homepage. Right now there's nothing there, but it will be built out very shortly to have a lot of pertinent information for students, faculty, anybody who's within the CGPS organizational unit. On the off chance that you do have something else there, that's not a big deal. Sometimes you'll be a part of more than one organizational unit within the university. We have Brightspace support, announcements, and then a calendar down below. But the big one over here on the left side is our courses. So this is going to hold every course that you have access to or you've been enrolled in. And so you might have a few of those already from something like orientation. And you can also see that I have a few notifications that's specific to a course. And that's actually the course that we're going to go in, but we're not going to go in as an instructor first. We're going to check out the student view. So I'm going to enter this course by just clicking on the thumbnail here. And now here we are within the course as a student. So you'll see that the layout is quite similar to that of the institutional homepage. It still has that notification bar, and the navigation bar is also still there. It's just a little bit expanded from what we saw on the institutional page and has course activities and course home. But the course activities has all of your real important activities that you have. We have our announcements section. This is of course where the instructor will be able to provide announcements, activity feed for assignments and things that are coming up. Welcome to the course, we'll check that out in a minute, as well as a visual table of contents for each of the weeks or modules within the course. This will allow you to go straight from the course home into the week that you would like to go into. We have our calendar down here at the bottom, and that's going to contain everything that is going to be due or has any due date for the student to be able to see it all in one place. And we can look at the quick guide. So the quick guide will show up anytime the student first enters into a course, and it contains pertinent information. In some cases that might be the overview and course objectives. It might contain course resources, anything that's specific to a course, the syllabus. It could contain something like a survey that would be useful or required before entering into the course itself. And that's all just going to show up as the first thing that they encounter whenever they enter it. And of course, you can also always see that even as a student if you remember that's where information is and you want to get back to it. But it also lives within the course. So I'm going to start by going into Welcome and Student Resources. This takes us into the main body area of the course, the main content area, which you can also access through Course Activities Content. That will take us back to this Table of Contents area where we've got it over on the side and then the main body here. Important thing to note, you have bookmarks ability, so that's going to let you bookmark specific pages to be able to come back to that, as well as once again the course schedule, which is a little bit different from the calendar in that it's specific to the course, but it will show all of the things that are due here in one place. So back to Welcome and Student Resources. This is the same thing as the quick guide, but it's shown in a little bit of a different way, and that speaks to the way that students are going to navigate through Brightspace whenever they're actually taking courses. Anytime they come into a module, they'll have a series of assignments, links, pages, any of that. And the easiest way for them to be able to navigate is going to be to just click into the first of those pages. From here, you'll see the contents of the page. You can open any of the things into a new tab, any of the links. You have your breadcrumb up the top to be able to go back to where you wanted to. A little arrow for being able to access the table of contents and navigate in that manner. A full screen tab, a bookmark tab, some information on the activity, the ability to download it and to print it. But most importantly, you have these two arrows that are on the top and the bottom of the page, and that allows you to just keep moving through each of the pages. So you see here, now we're on the syllabus, same information, but if we click it again, that takes us to week 1. So now we're actually in a learning module. We can look at the overview and the learning materials specific to this particular week, go through everything, and then really start diving into the assignments. Each week you'll also find a checklist that's going to be the way to communicate exactly when you're going to have discussion posts due or assignments due, and it's just a good way for students to be able to keep track of where they are within the week. So here we are at a discussion board. This is just the introductions one. An interesting thing here is you can actually respond and start a new thread from the within the week itself. So we can reply if we'd like, and then keep moving on to whatever's due next in the course. So that'll take us to another discussion, and you can see that there are a few more applies here, so we could really come in and do everything that we needed from within this arrow navigation. So that's how you navigate through the contents, and you'll see that's the way that it is for each of the weeks. But with any of these cases, you also can access the assignments from, or discussions, any of the graded content from within their own area. So here I am in the discussion section, and we already posted something to introductions, but now you can see it here. So you can also see that what we've got is a lot of other content. In addition to that, we can look at assignments, where you'll see all of the assignments, if you've turned them in, or if you have not submitted anything, and if you've gotten a grade. And so this is just an easy place where you're going to be able to have a lot of access to different materials if you'd like. So since we already have a few graded items, we can also look as a student what their grades are going to look like. So this is how they'll show up once we have them graded. You'll see basically just a list of the assignments, things that haven't been graded, things that have, and you'll see your grade here, as well as your graded rubric. So that's really the majority of how students are going to be interacting with the course.